blood actually gets its patch in, we should be playing a lot more of that. As well, this week we have the release of Nicktoon Smash, which should happen plenty of times. I'm going to try to work on our Rivals of Aether project, and, well, it's probably just going to be mostly fighting games for this month. So, I hope you'll be glad to join me. As usual, we're getting back to Guilty Gear Strive, which, with the new month here in October, we have a reset on the floor rankings. So, we're going to be back onto floor 10, and hopefully we can try to get ourselves into Celestial once more. Been getting in a little bit of practice, and I have a couple of new tricks up my sleeve here, which hopefully we'll have a chance to demonstrate. Busy, busy, busy. It's been a rather pleasant weekend so far, and I'm really hoping to get back to doing a lot more streaming content. It's been kind of a mess trying to get some stuff established so far. Ah, you can hear that through the microphone. Hold on. Let me look at the audio levels real quick. Everything needs a slight adjustment, it looks like. Let's get that prepared over there. Turn this back up. And maybe move the microphone a bit closer. Darn thing's peaking again. Oh well. We still have our lovely little Celestial badge, it seems. Ah, Blaze Warrior! Welcome back! So glad to see you so soon into the stream. We just started. Have you been enjoying Type Lumina? I haven't had much of a chance to lab it. Alright. Here we go with the usual melee matchup, which, as long as we don't get ourselves caught in the blender... Ah, so close. Nice read on the jump. I suppose that's one of her better neutral tools to just throw out, given that she has so much air mobility. Send out the drone. And there we go with a lovely little robbery to start out with. Practicing with Shiki. Glad to see that. I actually haven't seen too much of his action in-game yet. Oh right, she can air dash after doing a double jump. She's a bit unique in that regard. So her air approaches are going to be somewhat less predictable. We might want to wait until she's exhausted all of her options. Huh, wasn't expecting the reversal, but we are prepared for it. And let's go. Bad burst point there. A lot of Gold Lewis's combos are burst safe given the huge disjoint on his coffin there. In terms of Melty Blood, I've definitely thought about picking up nades, just for all the extreme set play opportunities. That's a frame trap. Nice read. And now you're in the corner, so you'll have to deal with me. I suppose stealing around like that is worth using the burst. And welcome to the blender. Her combos last forever. My turn. One day you're going to move somewhere that has good connection so you can experience a good online match. That's how my life's been so far. It was only 2017 where I actually had good enough internet to play these games online. Ah, well, I suppose the grab should have been expected. No, you button masher! I'm plus there. Allegedly, this matchup is in Gold Lewis's favor given how little health Milia has to compensate.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
And once you actually get the chance to play online, it's one of the most wonderful feelings. Especially with good netcode. That's why I've been so obsessed with Guilty Gear. I'm not getting in that blender. Looking for the opening. Which we don't get. How about another robbery while we're at it? This guy must be furious. For what I know about Milia players, they're always angry. There's your wall break. See if you can go off of it. No hair cars around here. Casper says otherwise. All 6 arms of his. Hope we might have a chance to fight one day, Blaze Warrior. I'd definitely love to play Melty Blood. That really messed up the schedule, seeing the net play non-functional. If I had partners to play with, I'd probably do that. It seems the matchmaking doesn't work, but running with friendlies does. Now you can hear all that controller clicking over the mic. I suppose that's an important part of the experience. Now, you've seen that we've been practicing this combo a little bit. Versus lightweights, we should have a chance to dash forward, which helps us continue the combo like that. The important part is making sure you can get that perfect spacing into the close slash and then 248 Behemoth Typhoon.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Ah, almost. Such a weird 6P. I was mashing grab too. This match isn't over yet. I only need one try. And miss our super. Alright, let's rock it again. That 6H of hers is going to be the most important tool in this matchup. Ah, almost. Finally, a Jacko that does the strike-throw mix-ups instead of high-low. Or mostly just waiting out for chip. Not fast enough.
Duel 3. Let's rock.
Now 6P beats most of our starting options, which we might have to try to work on more. I suppose the air dashes are a bit predictable there. Funny how that sets up, actually. There's a few setups where the extended hitbox time from having those minions out screws you over, and then there's some where it actually helps more. Some people are just disappointed that Melty Blood has auto combos. They're mad because the game has no school requirement. It's definitely an interesting change. Although I've noticed that some of the more optimal combos don't require it. Personally, I welcome the introduction of those auto combos there. Let's see if this hits. Still does. And missed my meaty. I'm going to lose this round because of that. So close. Ah, I was hoping I could hit that darn thing. I think I hit the burst button. Not in time, but I didn't need it. Not enough meter. Or, I guess you just missed the block there then. Let's go. And still hits us. Alright, so less aerial approaches. And no chance for us there. Matchup's a little silly. I definitely hate fighting Jacko. Alright, run it back one more time and hope that our results are different. I hate those cross-ups. Oh, I suppose we get the burst out of there. Ah, missed. You want to do something back and feel like you're proud of yourself doing what you really want to make a great thing, but your life has... Sorry, I'm trying to read that during a match. I don't know why I'm trying to grab there. No chance to jump in there. Oldest trick in the book, and I fell for it.
Slap. Duel 3. Let's rock.
Alright, so it's mostly me being conditioned into trying to do the 6P the instant I see that 6H come out. Then she follows up with a low attack afterwards. So, in the very little bit of time that we have left in this match, and it's already over. So what we should have done is start approaching with a 5K, which would serve as a low crush against her attempts to sweep us. Simple enough. I hope you do come up with something good though, Blaze Warrior. As I said during the last stream, it's mostly a case of finding something difficult that you want to practice. Once you do have a skill that you're good at, and you start feeling proud of yourself accordingly, it's a very heartwarming feeling. That's one of the reasons why I play fighting games so much. One, it is a video game, which, I mean, everyone already knows those are lovely enough. But they're difficult, and you have a very good way to measure your progress as you get better over time. Slowly. Are there any games in particular you want to see more than anything else this week, Blaze Warrior? I'm still working on my schedule. Nice one. Trying to turn that butter. And there we go. Just need one conversion. Just one Roman cancel. Didn't time our cancel too perfectly. There's the burst. What I'm definitely wanting to get back to is Noida, which we haven't done in a couple of weeks. Got him. Noida is one thing I've been looking forward to. I've actually been playing that for most of my time outside of the streams, and I've definitely had a lot of fun with it. Although it is a very time-consuming game, as most roguelikes are, you're expected to have a good 300 hours before you actually finish. And 300 hours in terms of stream time is huge. Well, here we go, getting perfected. Alright, how do we start now? Seems most everything is beaten out by her round start options. That's just generally the goldless way. In most cases, you're just wanting to try to make sure you can win neutral. Which, if you can get that done from round start, then you have a chance. But if you were to play safe and just block from round start, well, then you're already losing. Should have expected the 6p there. Or 6h, and then respond with a 6p. Those are some predictable bursts, so we should try to work on countering them a bit more. Just free approaches here. Really? Alright, less air dash approaches. We'll have to be a lot safer on the ground. And probably the dash approaches might just work better for us. Of course, you talk too much while streaming, you'll be distracted. Huh. Nice 6p there. Not gonna deal with that mix-up. Alright, enough of the jumping in every time we have to come back. Ah, nice double jump cancel. Stops us from getting to do what we wanted to do on our descent. Might be a while before we get back to Halo, though. Inputs are definitely sloppy today. There we go. This is one that we'll have to practice. It's a good side switch setup. I wonder if there's a good way to get a fast RC off of some of those conversions. Ready to watch some gold digging. Welcome, Tito Lounge. Broham. There's definitely a Milia matchup you would have wanted to watch earlier, and I think the Jacko here had some of the same behaviors. There are a couple of open windows in the middle of our Behemoth Typhoon spam that you might want to observe. Quit playing Melty Blood. Hopefully not forever, I'd imagine. Alright, so that's another thing we need to practice, is our conversions off of 2K. That's one of the most important things. You know, spending your time just labbing a fighting game forever offline, I mean, I consider that a valuable experience. That's what I did before I actually moved out to the city. Opened Melty Blood once, it was great. The menus, you mean? Well, in your case it would have been the old Melty Blood, right? The new one's a lot more functional. Although the matchmaking doesn't work, you can actually fight other people. Wow, that Twitch delay is short, especially compared to YouTube's. Wonder why YouTube's is so slow. I think it might have to do with the fact that it's so focused on trying to get video encoding in there as well. That would be my estimate. It's kind of funny seeing how little the UIs that French Bread uses have changed over the years. Boot up old Melty Blood and it looks exactly like Under Night In-Birth and new Melty Blood as well. I suppose that's their branding at least. Turn off those counterattack settings. 59 damage. Exceptional. Suppose I do need to hit the lab more often. These inputs are a little sloppy and a little inconsistent. I really hope you have a chance to play Melty Blood soon. It's very movement-based in the neutral, which I think you'd appreciate knowing that you're a Smash player. As well, reverse speeds are definitely a wonderful fighting game innovation. Oh, here we go with the usual boss nonsense. So what we'll need to focus on is trying to keep him out of the air as much as possible. Luckily, with his very tall stature, that's not going to be difficult. Our jump slash will definitely hit him in almost every chance that we want to fight it. The old Melty Blood's actually super fun. It's functionally similar to the new one without the auto combos, and everyone's got a share of 3 separate system mechanics to work with. Oh, that's minus. Nice jump dust. You know what's funny? That fire has a hurt box. They really wanted to make sure Faust was low tier in this game. Loust, they call him. There we go. A bit too eager on that grab there. I wanted to make sure that match was ended as quickly as possible. Old Melty Blood definitely fits in the same vein as Accent Core or Melee. Exceptional system mechanics and a lot of complexity to offer, but the character balance definitely needs some work. I definitely recommend giving it a try. If you can find the community version, well, that has rollback netcode to go along with it. While you're occupied over there, seems he doesn't have the knowledge check there. You can actually use scarecrows to dodge that pretty reliably. And there, we finally have a use for the minigun, at least if he's going to keep using items back there. Wow, he has no health too. No damage, large hurt box, and no health. What does Faust have going for him? He's tall. Well, he does actually have very long range. He has the very, very large hurt boxes, but he has the long range to go with it, which does make for some sort of compensation. Oh right, that whole setup's burst safe. Prince told me the way to get better in fighting games is to suggestions. Huh, nice reversal. Suppose I should have seen that one coming. And Gold Lewis is dead. Killed by a broken shin bone. He can crouch under that. Remarkable. I didn't see the burst yet. What's very important for us is the 5P will actually hit him a lot of the time, given his very large stature. One of the few matchups where it can be used against standing opponents. That drone's not gonna do too much for us. There we go. Ah, almost.
Duel 3. Let's rock.
So close. And that is why we practiced that combo. You saw we got him in the corner, which is exactly where we want him. Ah, he was waiting for it. Yes, we should have expected it with him running up so much. Well, no burst hit for you. Little soldiers. Alright, there. We made it work.
여보세요. 시작. 주문한 적 없는 Burst Max. 날아가라. 돌아버려. 날아가라. 버텨라.
You know, his hard box is so big. I wonder what his weight class is. Probably medium, like some of the others. He doesn't pick up much momentum unless you actually get a dash going, so... we might just have to rely on our tight timing elsewhere. Yeah, doesn't look like we have much of a window there. Cancel it soon as possible, and that might actually give us enough of a chance to run back up. Of course, this version only works if we are actually towards the edge of the screen. Uppercut. And there we go. Strife, Nagaryuki. You know, given that it is towards the beginning of the month, not too many people would have gotten into Celestial yet, so our best chances might actually be around now. We'll have most of the level 10-ish players down here. And we'll actually have a lot of players to be fighting against. Get that started. Ooh, let's go. You let me in. So close. If only we got the, Roman cancel to hit there. Ah, no grab for us. He's too far. We almost got him, though. He's very fond of that spin attack. I always forget the name of it. Wow. That had precedence over 2P there. Now jobs for you. Sad you have no one against to play here where you live, but there's no one here to play fighting games like that. That was, to the letter, exactly how my experience was growing up. Hell, none of my friends enjoyed fighting games, so I was mostly left labbing them on my own. They played them casually occasionally, and that was mostly with Soul Calibur. Not your turn yet. Drone. Ah, I tried to see if I could anti-air that. Maybe in that case we should start doing a preemptive jump slash against them, knowing exactly when they should jump. What I could definitely recommend for you, Blaze Warrior, if you have any potential chance to get yourself into a place with a good connection, sometime in a couple of years, at least find a fighting game and try to learn the frame data for it. There's plenty of fighting game learning that you can do solo. Let it rock. Burst for me. Ah, he has those cancels. You know, we can probably afford to wait those out, but mostly if he's going to get in a command grab, well, we're screwed. There's Nagiriki for you. One of Gold Lewis's worst matchups. And he has free reign to do whatever the heck he wants with that blood meter now. Are you far away from just about any urban centers, Blaze Warrior? There's just no one around at all you can fight. And he's getting back in for free. That's why I don't use the minigun. Missed. And I knew it was coming. Should have neutral jumped. He's looking for those free bites. We're not gonna give it to him. And here we go. He's awfully fond of that yellow Roman cancel instead of doing any reversal supers. Watch it. He's about to go in for another grab. Burst safe. You have mentioned to me before, Broham, that you definitely want to see me pick up Leo, and well, he does have the most well-balanced matchup spread, so in all cases, that might even be a possibility. Though what I found does best for my playing is just relaxing. After all, I am trying to talk while playing, which will always be a distraction. You just feel like you just struggle with this stuff because you feel like your brain really can't handle the understanding of how to play a fighting game. It definitely gets easier once you have people to fight against. You start to be able to understand that a lot of people will end up making the same mistakes. Inputs are sloppy today. That's a frame trap. No attack for you. That's two lows. And that was quick. Awfully quick. Seems like it's a very, very one-sided toss-up on how well I perform. You'll see that our Giovanna did adapt here and started with a run-forward anti-air. Seems you know about the FD at least being one of the best things to do against him. Sorry for distracting. It's not your fault, it's my personal choice. If I wanted to actually just be better, I'd be playing without streaming. It's not really a case of distracting. I'd rather be here for the conversation instead. I just enjoy a good fighting game vibe. Ah, that's probably not quick enough. You know, honestly, I think just leading with the jump dust would be much better for us. That's plus. Got him. We do not jump out of corner pressure against Godlius. Ah, good burst block. And good frame trap. And again. Ah, maybe I should get a fight stick. There's a lot of times in which I'm trying to block diagonally, but it registers as a backwards input. You'll notice I get hit by a lot of lows when I really shouldn't be. Ah, overall, I think I just need to generally work on my mechanical applications. And there we go. A burst punish. And those are the things that will win you games. And Blaze Warrior, never be sorry for distracting me from anything. I'm actually very much open to you talking as much as possible. That's why I'm here for the streaming. I'd prefer you just talk more in general. Love to hear about what you have on your mind. There we go. Now let's go. I tried to catch you out of the backdash. If only Gold Lewis had the speed to contend with some of that. Nope, you're not getting out of this corner so soon. Ah, I was hoping there'd be something I could 6p there. That's actually one thing I very much like about Gold Lewis's moveset. He has between 5k and 6p. Quite a good way to high or low crush. I wonder if that's actually just isn't necessarily the best thing to follow up with. Hold on. Ah, it was working earlier. Maybe off of a close slash it's more functional. There we go. I think that actually gives us much better Oki. Alright, so we have a much larger window to do than it might initially look. Gotta make sure we get the right hit on there. And this is the Nagaryuki we just fought. So, we should be able to learn from his habits and be able to counter him this time. I will repeat it as many times as I can. The most important skill in fighting games is reading your opponent. Should remember to basically always FD break when I can. Oh right, he's a heavyweight, so I guess that one doesn't work on him. Get in a minigun. Ooh, almost. Ah, so much chip damage. And not enough meter to contend with it. Although I guess that's the specialty for both of us. See if we get him. And we do. You're gonna take the chip down whether you like it or not. Nope, gotcha.
일 보고 있나?
Almost sounds like he's saying I'm sorry when he does that attack.
앉아가지고.
That's a frame trap. And here we go. Got him. Alright. We've understood a lot of his habits now. He will use the spin attack, I think that's Shizu Ryuki, a lot. He'll do that a lot in neutral, so neutral jumps are definitely some of our best tools against him.
일 보고 있나?
As well, he does that a lot with the sand grab.
카드다. 일 보고 있나?
Sloppy inputs. And that'll be the death of him. Somewhat. Nope, I'm blocking. Or I was? What the heck happened there? You saw the FD come out. Maybe it registered a different button input as I was trying to FD again, during the cutscene. That's really the issue today, sloppy inputs. Was hoping for a grab there.
저기 아니야? 간다. 앉아가지고. 숨겨둔 카드다.
And I was blocking too. The backdash or forward dash off the cross-ups there definitely messes up with me a lot. Given the very small walk speed that Gold Lewis has, definitely messes with me. Alright, so maybe more jump H would be better for us. How's my day? It's been pretty slow so far. Actually played a lot of Noida off-stream, and got quite a bit of progress there. Mostly I was just looking forward to this. I've been missing streaming. Have you had a good weekend so far, Blaze Warrior? I appreciate your regularity in showing up. That's really the most measure of how well you're doing as a streamer. Knowing how many regulars you have. Nice throw. I saw it coming and I tried to jab against it. That's really why I'm streaming, is I'm just trying to meet new people. VTubers would definitely be a big part of it, but so far, I'm not getting too many collaboration opportunities. Though I am looking out for them. That's my #1 thing. I'm definitely wanting to try to get some fighting game collabs out there. So I gotta talk to more of the VTuber FGC. So close. Come on. Ah, well, now he gets to do whatever the heck he wants.
어딜 보고 있나? 속에서
These buttons are too good. This is still always going to be a nightmare matchup for us.
에베라 생각 마라. 최선을 다했다는 자부심을 가져라.
So I'd say what I'd look forward to most is trying to get a few streams, collaborations under my belt, which, well, I just need to be on the lookout for more VTuber stuff. I'm not on Twitter much, so I don't really pay much attention to, say, when people are hosting tournaments and such. Which I guess is the next step, if I'm going to be looking for collaborations of the fighting game Persuasion. I feel like we fought this Zato before because I remember Zato with his description being and I quote, gay, gay, homosexual, gay. So we know we're dealing with a JoJo fan here. Might be a different Zato. There's a lot of them that are JoJo fans. We didn't need that burst. And I was trying to block high there. He has one of the weirdest best combos. No close slash for you. Just flail wildly like a gorilla and still win. Ah, well, that hit Eddie, at least. Never stop blocking. I know you wanted to practice Zato, so take a look here, Brohem. Here's a good example of what you should be doing. Of course, the most important part is making sure you recognize the attacks that are going on. Ah, so close to that grab. Would have given us a chance. And there's the Zato Classic. Yep, I was gonna watch out for that burst, but he was doing it while I was already on the ground. And that's why blue Roman cancels are important. Ah, so close. Almost. Definitely should have tried inputting a super input after the yellow Roman cancel. That would have been the best way to just, you know, rob another victory from him. Take a drink.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of reflecting on
One of these days, I definitely need to look at the chat delay between YouTube and Twitch. There it is. So this is one of the weird matchups where Zato actually has the better neutral. Which means we mostly have to play around him. You'll also notice how many backdashes he's getting out, which... his backdash is going to be a lot faster than our dash forward, so... it's mostly a case of trying to get him into the corner. Let's go. You'll want to stand slightly in front of him when Zato's doing his flying, and then be able to prepare a 6P like that for when he inevitably comes down. He doesn't have a move that he had in the previous few games. He used to have a way to, interestingly enough, only start a DP out of the air. If you attempted to chase him up there, he'd be able to vanish into the ground and do a DP against you. I can't remember if it was actually invincible though. But it had a similar enough animation. Let's go. I hope you're watching, Broham. You'll definitely have some good advice on how to play Zato here. I mean, look at those combos. I'm not sure if I have enough time to lab him myself, though, in the future. As much as I'd like to. Especially with us having so many other fighting games to focus on now. Missed it. Ah, good grab. Game music is fire. Absolutely, that's one of my biggest reasons for playing Guilty Gear. I mean, Six Black Heaven's Guns is my absolute favorite song from Arc System Works, which is why I always have it as my background music. Unless anyone in the audience would have a different request for us. Oh, that's gonna hit us. Burst goes out. So it looks like he's mostly saving meter for trying to YRC our nonsense. Luckily, we landed enough to not be punished for that. You'll see he's doing a lot of backdashes and a lot of attempts to nervously get out of our pressure, but we don't really have much of the speed to follow him up. And that is Goldlos's biggest weakness, is if you have enough window to, well, get the hell out of dodge. Did we win any of those? We might not have. Alright. So now we have to sit down and think about what we're doing in those cases where someone's backdashing from us so much. I mean, we could try just continuing to run at them. His run does get slightly faster over time. But if your character has the speed to escape him, well, you actually have a good chance there. We also noticed he did a lot of yellow Roman cancels, which in those cases, I think our best bet would be to jump cancel our 5k, but that doesn't give us... That would actually blow us back a lot when it hits us, even if we block it. The deal with specifically yellow Roman cancels is they're supposed to be standing blocked or ground blocked. If we're trying our meaty 5k setups, we might not have our chances to do that. Looks like for the most part, we'll just end up respecting whatever he's doing. Which is a shame. Almost. Darn, I like the Potemkin matchup. Do we have any music requests in the audience? Something other than Six Black Heaven's Guns. But I mean, that is my favorite, so I wouldn't mind keeping it. Come on, let the matchmaking work. Let's hope this one works. Come on, I don't have— oh, darn it. You know, I think at this point we actually might just want to try to get ourselves out of the queue and then get ourselves back in. Oh, why do we still have Celestial as an option? We're not guaranteed Celestial, are we? Huh. Well, we are still losing about half of our games on floor 10, so maybe this would be a better place to practice. Ah, it's still giving us trouble. Select floor. Maybe Celestial would be a bit more functional. Or you might just have to log out and then log back in. Yeah, it looks like that'll be the case. Alright. Quit to title and log back in again while we're having this nonsense going on. If anyone in the audience would like to participate in some friendlies, let me know. Now let's try this one more time. And hopefully now it'll work. I'm going to be as stubborn as I need to be, Guilty Gear. We'll continue labbing Gold Lewis. So far, our inputs have been a little bit sloppy today. So take a moment and relax. Give yourself a little bit of a stretch while you're at it. Ah, deep breath. Coopstain. What an interesting name for a Ramlethal. Although, according to the description, that might be some sort of a Pink Floyd reference, but I've never listened to Pink Floyd. Alright. The matchup I hate.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Give up. Is it gay to like a tomboy? Oh, definitely not. Tomboys are very wonderful. Unless they're Ramlethal. I'm not sure if she counts as tomboyish. Give me that chip damage. Thank you! No, you have my assurance, Blaze Warrior. It is definitely not gay to like a tomboy. Unless you want it to be. Really, I think you just shouldn't be concerned whatsoever with if something is gay or not. I was expecting a strike. Get a throw. Really? Now what are you gonna do without those swords? Well, reversal, which we at least blocked. Never met a tomboy, but would be happy to meet one, though. I've known a few. Very pleasant people, usually. Nice backdash. Ah! Try that again. Alright, so what we need to focus on mostly is faultless defense breaks. And we don't even want to try to react to her pressure in that case. Get that gold burst because we want the meter. You made a mistake. Allegedly, there's a super jump window there. Just run up and grab. She has the speed to be doing that.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
You're really holding on to that burst, aren't you?
Duel 3. Let's rock.
And cash in that damage. I want that meter back. What we need to worry about is making sure we do not lose our advantage. Gold burst. And I guess we just don't get our chance to use our ranged attacks there. Not a neutral against Ramifal. I love that button. So we do have a chance against her, we just need to be very careful with our approach. And mostly with our neutral. Now how did that miss? Well, burst safe combos and conversions it is. Astonishing range there. And that is a burst punish. So what you want to pay attention to in those cases is if the red Roman cancel effect does not actually hit them. If it doesn't, they've already input a burst. Really? Take the chip damage, and don't jump out of my pressure. You're going to sit there and block, if you like it or not. Do I have any advice when it comes to talking to a tomboy? I don't have any advice when it comes to talking to women in general. I tend to fly solo for the most part. No thought, only Unga. That is as typical of a Leo player as they come. I am a teacher, but I'm definitely not qualified to give any sort of dating advice. That is not my area of expertise. Definitely need to work on that grab setup. I wonder if you can fast RC that into a 5H. You don't get enough of a bounce off of that. You're an awesome streamer. Thank you. I hope to get big with it eventually one of these days. My biggest hang-up so far is trying to make sure I can actually get myself advertised out there. So far, it seems I have great retention among my viewers for anyone that does see the stream, and there's quite a few instances where I get subscribers without even doing anything. I'm looking into possibly making some music covers in the future. I think that would be a best expression of my skills. That and video tutorials. Possibly about how fighting games are best played. Although it's definitely a very, very big undertaking to try to make a set of a script for that. And here we go. Trying to look out for those grabs. You stopped blocking. And because of that, I'm going to rob that match from you. Huh, nice schmicks up there. And there's the grab. Ooh, would you look at that hitbox? And would you look at that hitbox? Definitely way to chase him. Now I would have hoped to at least try to grab him out of his cross-ups a couple times. But we know he's doing it very soon into his mix-ups. Good frame track. Seems he's having a little bit of trouble staying in. Ah, missed the meaty again. Well, there's the command grab. If you're still watching, Broham, this is the most important thing for you to watch. Well, one, Leo getting gunned down. But two, look at his back turn mix-ups. That would be minus. He's jumping, so he should be blocking. We're not gonna burst. He starts with a backdash, doesn't he? That's a frame trap. There we go, I was waiting for that. And goodbye. Ah, and the wall break too. Just enough space for it.
주문한 적 없는데. 집에 가.
Duel 1.
Alright, shouldn't be too difficult of a fight here. There we go. Look at the fruits of your labor, Broham. I'm reading this guy. Block that. Do I stream on TikTok? Not yet, but I'm definitely considering it in the future for content at least. Maybe for clips, but I'm not going to be doing too much TikTok stuff, probably. It is definitely on my list of things for if I'm trying to get bigger with this, though. And that is why we never use standing dust. That's a missed grab. And you'll be hit by the reversal for it.
예, 대통령 무시잖아. 잘못 보셨다고요?
Well, that's a solid 3 wins under the belt. TikTok's probably coming in the future. I might just save that for stream clips and little skits, though. VTuber map. Oh, would you look at that? Well, it's that Spider-Man meme all over again. Salutations. Well, VTuber versus VTuber. Time for us to make an example out of one of us.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Ah, nice fake out. Alright, can't let him just take this from us. Well, there's the throw. And there's the failed backdash. Ah, no jumping out of that. Drone goes out. Ah, he has so much more time to compare with. There's the throw. I was expecting another strike. That would have been an excellent time to just jump instead. We got close though once we got him in the corner. So we do know now that he knows how to reversal DP.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
And our standing 5P definitely whiffs at round start despite the fact that it's a frame faster. That's a frame trap. Get him again. We will not have backdashes in this classroom. Alright, so that doesn't combo. Or that doesn't beat that. Let's let it rock. Nope. Oh, wow. No punish there. I'm gonna chip you to death instead. Do very similar damage output on these characters. The difference between Soul and Goldlewis, though, is Soul actually needs to hit you.
Mankind knew that they cannot change.
Goldlewis just needs to get close and he'll win. Ah, good burst bait. And good dust. Would you look at that damage? Soul never misses. Alright, first of 2 rounds. We need 2 consecutive wins to prove ourselves superior here. Not too promising looking so far. Run it back again. Get off me. You know, we probably would have been able to punish that if we did a backdash instead. He probably has the win there. Yep, there we go. Darn, I was hoping to do more. I'm gonna go say hi real quick. Give me a second.
Burst Max.
Oh, whoops. Hopefully I found the right spot. And it looks we're doing this. Oh. Suppose so. Doesn't look like they're streaming right now, though. It doesn't seem like it. Ah, yeah. Suppose that's not the case. Darn! I was hoping to say hi. Ah! You showed up in the chat then. GG's indeed. Thank you for showing up. Not streaming on Twitch now, are you? Or are you streaming on YouTube instead? You've got the TTV in your handle.
Duel 1.
Level 600. You've been playing this a long time, haven't you? Got him. And there's our 3-frame 5K. I definitely need more practice in the Soul matchup, despite him being, allegedly, one of the most popular characters. I haven't seen enough online. I suppose that would be why your level is so high. You, play off-stream on this account, don't you? I wonder if I should be doing that. I have my level split between 2 separate accounts. Finally. Come here, you little rascal. I had the 6P coming out too. And I'm gonna get punished for that one. That's a frame trap. Watch me turn this butter. Goodbye. That's the only way I can cheat out a win here. Not quite, I don't think so. Good set, let's keep going. How's it pronounced, by the way? Instruct me. Is it Zeros or Zeros? Or do you prefer Alistair? You know, that's an entire set of syllables I don't recognize, so please give me whatever you would prefer.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Ah, that was the easiest burst bait of my life, and I didn't go through with it. Missed the meteors again. And there's the throw. And there's the other throw. I guess I should backdash on Waked Up right now, but then again, I'm being stream sniped, so shouldn't I be not discussing tactics then? And that'll get caught. Ooh, just barely. Gotcha. Oh, whoops. Don't punch the mic, please. I really need to set this thing further out of the way. Cheeky gold burst. Didn't work. Alright, lean back. So, Zeros, tell me, you interested in Type Lumina? I'm trying to get some sort of content to that game on this channel, but given that the matchmaking so far isn't working, I wish I could convert off of that. But Behemoth Typhoon's just so slow. Maybe a jump slash would have worked there.
Wins.
Given that Melty Blood's matchmaking isn't working so far, I have been looking for collaborations. Definitely would have a chance to do something. Zeros Aleister Dadochos.
Instead of reflecting on themselves,
Dadochos. Alright, but Zeros is fine. Alright.
Avid.
But I am looking for people to run Melty Blood with since the matchmaking isn't working.
각오 단단히 해.
Let me know if you're interested.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Buy Lumina later. Little broke right now. I understand. If only. No 6p for me. Hold still, damn it.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Well, you got me. I like the use of that fake out. It's definitely unorthodox compared to what I've seen with a lot of other souls. I should see that coming more often. Be less hasty. Oh right, 2p works where 5p fails. And I tried to grab. Well, there's the block. Alright. I'm not done yet. Run it back. Funny how he very clearly does not have... Huh. Oh well. Let's try it one more time. Do quite like OG Melty though. I haven't really practiced much of either. But I would definitely be interested in getting some sort of Melty Blood content on this channel, regardless of if it's old or new. You excited for Nicktoon Smash as well, or do you only play real fighting games? Let's run it back one more time. Yeah, I know nothing about OG Melty, really. Tried playing a bit of maids, and I'm definitely focusing on maids in the new game, but I don't really have a main or, heck, even more than 10 hours in just the old Melty. Minigun will be useful one of these days. Ah, just whiff that 2p. Missed the safe jump again. Alright, strike throw back and forth. this. If only. I just can't do it.
시시한 놈이구만.
Alright. Keep it going. Finish this set. I'm not done yet. I need to punch Soul in the face more. I'm not done punching him in the face.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
We had the solution to it. Good block. Do I have enough meter for that? I wish I could convert into a break that easily.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Nope. Nope, gold burst. You know, for once, that actually has a use.
Duel 3. Let's rock.
I think we need more jumping approaches. Or Okizeme. Does it work? It does! And still too high for a 6P to hit him. Darn. Alright, that should be one more round for us. Am I still in Celestial, or is that just the Celestial challenge that we have ready up there? Huh. You know, I haven't even checked up there yet. Oh. Yeah, that drone's a little bit busted. You know, you're a lot less aggressive than... Oh! I thought that wasn't going to work. Nicktoons looks interesting. Probably will wait a month or so after release before seeing if it's Ryu. It's Smash Brothers, I think I'll just like it regardless. So I'm personally very excited. Don't jump out of that. Oh, cheeky gold burst. suppose I should have seen that coming. I had a conversion there too. I'll just do it again. Alright, good set. I had to go to the bathroom that entire time, so I'm going to excuse myself very quickly, before I suffer any more. GG's indeed, Zeros. It was a pleasure seeing you show up here. I think that's the first time we've run across another VTuber in the tower here. Quite the pleasure to meet you. Give me 1 second. And select me. You know, I should probably have a button for that. Make me return onto the screen when I need to. See what that face tracking's doing. It seems to be doing a lot better. GG's indeed, Zeros. It was fun. Let me know if you want to do anything for a collaboration with either old or new Melty Blood. Of course, I don't know anything about old Melty Blood, so... that's not the conversion I want. I only get to use that 1 out of every 50 matches, and it's worth it every single time. Alright, we gotta learn this one. It's going to be miserable the entire time, but we have to learn this one. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, meet the single most lopsided matchup in the game.
Mankind knew that they cannot
Put armor in the
change
minigun and it works.
society.
Even if it's only on level 3. Guess that's way too easy of a run-in burst, so no more attempting to grab that. Remember, less air dashing, we just want to walk straight in. And that we can't even block. As well, the fact that we don't have a double jump just definitely makes it work a lot better against us. I don't think we're gonna stick to this one very long. I mean, there's nothing for us to learn.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Yep, welcome to Axel vs. Gold.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Nope, can't even see which one that was. Hopefully we have enough time, but it seems we don't. Well, at least this one doesn't have to last much longer.
Axel wins.
It seems we're immune to demotion right now, so that might just be a side effect of, I guess we have a Celestial challenge waiting for us. Alright, so it's always a backdash there. Maybe we can hit him with a 4-2-6 off of that. Might be slow enough to catch him. And still missing him. Yep, well, we don't have to deal with that one anymore. Let's check on that Celestial challenge. I think in the future we might just dodge Axels. There's nothing to actually learn about this matchup. Floor select, and back to Celestial. Wonder if that'll actually set us in the challenge, although it's currently not let. There we go. So, I think we'll go ahead and give our Celestial challenge a try, and then who knows. Depending on if we want more friendlies or not, we'll see if we continue with the stream much further after that. Alright, what do we need to practice most? not that, because we never get that as an opportunity. What we need to practice is our mid-screen punish whenever we get a burst bait, which, as you all know, is this. Items, Faust only, final floor. Alright, level 2000 Faust, send me back down to floor 10, I suppose. So, while we're getting ourselves ready, we need to know what we're expecting. Lots of jumping in the air and fireballs, and then 2K, so for the most part, we want to be able to patiently wait him out while he's in the air. While he's at a distance, he'll probably be doing a lot of maybe I shouldn't talk while I'm having an important matchup here. Let's get this started. That's what we need to watch out for. Almost. And somehow we robbed that one. He'll always have the advantage at round start, so that's just mostly what we have to look for. Spaghetti. And that's what we need. We need to wait out for whenever he does his love in the air, and then 6 PM on the way down afterwards. If he doesn't, we might just have some other ways to bait him. That's my banana. I'm the gorilla here. Wait for it. Almost. I don't think we're gonna waste a burst on this one. Ah, nice escape. Well, an excellent grab there. He was expecting... I don't know if that was just him being... whatever, if he was actually expecting us to just walk up and defend. Nice crouch. Yep, that's that round for us. So it's mostly a case of making sure he never gets started in the first place. That's what we need to pay attention to. I'm just gonna go for it and try to 5P. Walking backwards, perfect response to it. No gold burst for us. That command grab terminates very quickly. Like me, I also terminated very quickly. I think that's plus if he charges it, which I'm pretty sure it will be. Well, no Celestial for us. That only took 6 minutes. Changed lifestyle habits, he says, to the overweight character. Well, there we go. Lore 10 and a half main for life.
Move on to the next war.
Don't let this failure weigh you down, it says. Honestly, the way they put it is a little discouraging, isn't it? Any chance you have to learn is definitely not a failure. Lost in a fighting game, especially against someone who knows way more than you do, I wouldn't call that a failure. I suppose that's too far away. I wonder what our best Roman cancel mid-screen conversion is, just in case we ever actually get 50 meter and, say, a burst punish. Guess it might depend on how close we are to the edge of the screen. But we will want to definitely push them into a corner with whatever we can afford. One thing that definitely keeps me playing Gold Lewis is his combos in the case of some characters, or the combos for a number of characters, will actually be more towards a memorizing a long list of strings. With Gold Lewis, however, given that he has so many different attacks for him to be using, it's more of an application of combo theory. You have a variety of different attacks, and you know what each one of them does, so you string them together that way, depending on the conditions. I definitely like characters like that more than the ones that just string together long lists of light attacks. Really makes it feel a lot more freeform with what you're doing. I was waiting for the burst. And it never came. Don't get too hasty now. Ah, well, there's me being hasty. Pay attention to their meter more, that's definitely on the top list of priorities. Your 7th frame button is better than my 7th frame button. His burst recovers before I do. Or when I hit him with a burst. Not enough. They never expect it twice. But he has the chip damage. So close. I suppose we had the meter to counter that, so maybe we should have paid more attention to it.
레베라 생각 마라.
Alright, noted.
다했다는
In the
자부심을 가져라.
future, definitely need to focus on using faultless defense versus Nagaruki a lot more. Good burst. But this match is mine. Make one right read and it all comes together.
저기 아니야.
Well, that was completely improvised. I've never actually used that combo before. If only I got him into the corner.
일 보고 있나? 일 보고 있나?
Just hold out. And there we go. Got a little too hasty.
여보세요. 피자?
A lot of Nagaryukis, if you let them, will just suicide against you like that.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Nope. I'm plus. At least enough.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
일 보고 있나?
And let's go. Wow, we finally turned that one around.
여보세요.
And so quickly, too.
주문한 적 없는데.
God, I love this character. Hopefully, we might have a chance to enter Celestial again soon. I think we'll do a few more sets. We're definitely not wanting to sit here for the entire Sunday afternoon. Need to get a better understanding of frame data. Do you understand the fundamentals of frame data, or are you just looking for specific moves? Or are you trying to understand how it applies to the game? I'm happy to teach. Yeah, that doesn't always combo. We might just have to do the 6-8-4 as our finisher on that regardless. So the deal with frame data is essentially fighting games are turn-based, but you have 60 turns a second, and you do have the option to skip your turn. What frame data is a measure of how quickly some turns can be taken. Now how's that for first read? How it applies to the game. Alright, I'll continue that talk while I beat this Potemkin. So, every fighting game runs in 60 frames per second, And you know that certain moves are faster than others, and certain moves are slower than others. Frame data is the measure of how quick some moves are, especially on hit, block, startup, and recovery. Startup is how many frames before the attack comes out. Active is how many frames the hitbox can actually hurt someone. Set up our drone. That's plus. So, faster moves will have a lower amount of startup frames. Slower moves will have higher amounts. Recovery is the measure of how many frames it takes for the move to retract after the hitboxes are out. And what is very important about neutral and pressure in these games is understanding the frame data interacting between moves and between characters. One thing you'll hear me say a lot is plus or minus. Whenever you have an attack come out, there is a certain number of frames that the opponent is stunned and can't do anything for. What is plus is a move that lets you act before your opponent. And what is minus is a move that lets your opponent act first, which is going to be most of the moves in the game. Some moves that might be plus would be any moves that have a large amount of startup, such as most of Gold Lewis's Behemoth Typhoons. So the deal with trying to understand frame data is you want to use moves that don't create a large enough opening in your opponent's blocking to let them use one of their moves against you. What functions very importantly alongside frame data is cancels, which you'll see is very common in anime fighting games. With Guilty Gear Strive specifically, it's mostly balanced around everything being minus, but you have a few cancels that you can use. And those cancels actually let you turn a move that is minus into a move that is plus, so long as you're canceling it into an attack afterwards. So that's how the pressure mind games work in this. You want to use moves, and guess when your opponent is going to be blocking or when they're going to try to hit back. And you want to try to cancel your moves when they're trying to hit back so that you can get a counter hit. Otherwise, you want to try to bait them into what is known as respecting your pressure, which is basically just keeping up their block because they're expecting you to attack again. So you vary what you do with your plus minus frames and cancels. You'll notice a lot of the time I'm doing a 5k on my opponent's wake up into a Behemoth Typhoon. The frame data actually shows that there's a window in there, but because they're so scared of the Behemoth Typhoon coming out, they'll continue blocking. If I do certain Behemoth Typhoons, it'll catch them while they're trying to hit back, but if I do a slower Behemoth Typhoon while they're expecting me to do a quicker one, then I'll be plus and it'll still be my turn to attack. So you want to use moves that are slightly minus and not very punishable. And if you can, try to fit in some plus moves when your opponent is respecting your pressure due to you doing the cancels correctly. What's also very important among frame data is knowing which of your opponent's moves are plus or minus. A minus move you can punish, or at least once it executes, it's your turn, and you get to make your attack first. If someone tries to keep attacking while they're minus, they'll generally tend to get hit. Because moves are balanced over having certain amounts of frame data for their ranges and for their power levels. Jabs, such as your punch attacks in Guilty Gear, or your A attacks in Melty Blood, will generally have very fast frame data, but otherwise not be very strong. So what you want to do is fit in a good number of jabs and a good number of other pressure moves that are only very slightly minus. Fit in a few cancels to try to convince your opponent that you're going to keep attacking. Once they are expecting a lot of cancels, you can go ahead and not do cancels. And when you're not doing cancels, you have a bit more of a window to do whatever the heck you want because they're expecting you to attack. They'll continue passing their turn to block. You'll notice during some streams, or when an opponent is doing certain attacks, I'll do the 2P, which is the little elbow attack. That is my fastest starting button, which I like to use when my opponent is minus enough that they'll at least be forced to block it. I don't want to use a big move, because that's going to have a very large amount of startup, which, even if they're minus, if I use a very slow move, they can use a fast move and interrupt me. One way you can test for moves being plus or minus in training settings would be to set your opponents to, after block, jump. So I'm going to do close slash here, and then I'm going to hold up, so we'll both jump at the same, or well, no, that's not going to work because it's jump cancelable. We'll do it with 5H. Oh, he's supposed to block that first before we do that. I'll demonstrate that after this next match. But you'll hear me say that during a lot of these fight streams, I'll say something is plus or minus. If a move is minus, it's the defender's advantage, and they want to attack first. If it's plus, it's the attacker's advantage, and they get more freedom to do whatever the heck they want. And burst so that we don't have to deal with that. See, that sweep is minus, so he didn't want to attack again. Instead, he made the wrong decision. And that's why I got the counter hit, because he tried attacking while he was minus. I had the advantage though, since his attack was blocked, and so he was at a disadvantage from there due to the frame data. That's fundamentally probably the most important thing to learn about fighting games, is frame data. So when I do get down to video tutorials, that's probably what I'm going to focus on first. Also, I'm getting my ass kicked. And we're dead. We're not allowed to lose once more after this. I mean, it's the Celestial Challenge. I should be paying attention to the game, not giving a lecture. But I will notice that in a lot of the past few streams that I've gotten towards Celestial, my biggest issue is choking, so I'm going to take the Celestial Challenge in stride in the future. Because the biggest thing I don't want to do is choke, and really remaining calm is how I fix that. But I'll be honest, I got in there once and I'm not too concerned about trying to get in there every single time afterwards. Right now I'm just giving free invites to Celestial. Ah, excellent use of that slash. No safe jump for us. This is a frame trap, but he's invincible because he has the best DP in the game. I'm not going to let myself lose that easily and that soon. That's plus. So you'll see I tend to keep attacking after hitting certain Behemoth Typhoons. It's because those moves are plus, and you'll notice that I got that counter hit on him towards the end. That's because he attempted to attack, while I had the frame advantage. A lot of these Behemoth Typhoons are going to be plus. Oh, no chance to cancel there. See what happens when I start focusing. I had the confidence I'd be able to stay in Celestial if I wasn't trying to host a lecture at the same time I was fighting. There we go again with having a frame advantage. Ah, nice air dash cancels there. Ah, right when our burst was coming back. Alright, should make for an interesting last match. And there we go with his 2S and 5H leads, which is one of the most important things to practice with Leo. Can't burst that. And we're dead. Alright, a very good Celestial attempt there. I suppose that was a bit of a disorganized lecture, so in the future I should definitely prepare a more formal introduction on frame data. But if you're still there, Blaze Warrior, I have an excellent video to explain it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm going to stay in this window and go ahead and where are we looking for? Do you watch Core A Gaming's channel? I'll have to remember which video it is. There's one of them that definitely shows us what we're supposed to be doing about... No, I can't even remember which video it is. I'll have to find which one it is, but there is one of their videos which is an excellent introduction to frame data. Now I think that was a very lovely Sunday afternoon for us. Got a lot of progress done, had a lot of fights to go along with it. This next week is going to be focusing on Nicktoons Brawl, and hopefully we also have a patch for Type Lumina's matchmaking coming up. Otherwise, I'll try to see if I can get into some collaborations for us to be playing Type Lumina. It's going to be mostly fighting games throughout October, so expect to focus on Guilty Gear, Melty Blood, Type Lumina, maybe try to fit in some old versions of Melty Blood. As well, Rivals of Aether will definitely be a focus for this month. I'm going to try to work on our custom character, and maybe even have a stream for while we're working on the spriting and the coding for that. So, I look forward to seeing you there. For now, class is dismissed, but I will leave the stream running for a little bit, to give a chance for anyone to ask their questions. I'm just gonna slip off to the side over here, but I'm still going to be listening. It's also to prevent the stream cutoff, which I seem to have noticed happening a lot more recently with YouTube. I might try to see about experimenting with getting a lower stream delay, which would result in a drop of video quality, but I'll have to see how it turns out. Regardless, thank you all so much for your attendance. I think that's good enough cutoff prevention. Class is dismissed. Thank you all, and have a good night.